you doing?
Great.
Is this true? And it's funny because I was talking about the internet, but apparently if you dial up interesting facts about people, there's a thing that indicates that you passed away earlier today. on the internet. Is that true? Am I making that up? Did you know about that?
I didn't know, but I feel pretty good.
You look tremendous,
Thank
by
you.
the way.
Thank you.
But have you ever had anything like that happen?
No,
where they
I
say
just heard this.
that you were in a canyon or you fell off or something? I don't know.
It said that I was in the Palo Verde Mountain, something like that. I don't even know where I was supposed to.
I'm not sure where they are either. Yeah.
Bit the dust, but
Was it multiple fractures? Is that what killed you?
the cause was unknown. I think we were going to have to.
Well, that explains why you're here. Yeah. They couldn't figure out what killed you.
Yeah.
So he said, all right, in that case, I'll go see Dave.
I'm actually really glad I'm on the show because I'd hate to think, you know, if one of my friends actually saw that and read it.
Well, yeah, that's right. It could be damaging for sure. Have you ever had any trouble with that kind of thing before?
No, well, I mean, I was a little upset when I heard about this because I thought it's kind of a careless, kind of reckless thing to do.
What if your friends? What if your family sees this?
Exactly, exactly. But then I kind of thought, see, I was in the Venice Film Festival a few days ago with The Informant, and I was, it's 8 in the morning, and I'm doing an interview, and this Italian journalist came up to me, and evidently Brad Pitt had been doing interviews for Inglourious Bastards, and I guess somebody kept asking him when he was going to marry Angelina Jolie.
Right.
And he got so sick of the question, he finally said, I'm going to marry Angelina when George Clooney marries his boyfriend. Now, Now, if you're in America and you say that, the journalist laughs.
Yeah.
Right? If you're overseas, something gets lost in the translation. So it's 8 in the morning, this Italian journalist comes in and goes, Matt, is it true what the Brad say? And I have no idea what he's talking about, but, of course I go, yeah, of course it's true. And he says, do you mean George Clooney have a boyfriend? And now I'm trying to keep a straight face, and I go, yeah. Yes, of course he's got a boyfriend. And he wants to illegally marry him. We've been on him about this for years, The guy goes, you know this man? I go, of course, everybody knows him. We all know him. We hang out, we love the guy. He's great. That's why we want them to get married.
Oh, my goodness.
So, a harmless little joke, because George is coming the next day to promote one of his films. So I come back to New York. We arrive, it's one of those all-day flights. We arrive, go to sleep. I wake up in the morning, and I, like you, go to my computer, and I check the internet.
Yeah.
On CNN, it says, man strips for George Clooney at press conference. And it's a video, right? So I click on it, and apparently this guy stands up and says, George, and he said, there's hundreds of people in the room, and George is kind of, yeah. He goes, I am a gay. And George is like, oh, okay. And he goes, and you are gay. So now George is like, what is going on? And this guy starts peeling his clothes off. And he says, if you must choose me. So speaking of reckless ways to use the internet.
Yeah.
I have to say, sometimes it can be fun.
Yeah, it sounds like a great deal of fun. I'm sure George is still laughing about that one. Tell me about your family. You have how many kids? 3 kids, is that right?
Yeah.
And run them down for us. You have
I have an 11-year-old stepdaughter, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old.
And all daughters?
All daughters, yeah.
Whoa, buddy. It's a lot of estrogen, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, to borrow a neocon phrase, there's a testosterone deficiency in my house.
It must be fun, though, to be surrounded by women like that.
It's great. It's great. It's really different. I grew up with just a brother, and no sisters, and so it's kind of like I'm relearning everything because it really is different. You know, boys and girls are just different.
Right.
I mean, a lot of people have written books about this.
Yep.
I'm not telling you anything you don't know.
Right.
But
it is dumbfounding when you see it. I mean, you
Yes.
think, oh, it's a cliche, but in fact,
No,
it happens. It's right there.
I sit there and play princesses with my 3-year-old daughter,
Yeah.
and I never told her anything about a princess
That's right.
ever. I mean, I don't push any of that stuff on her. And you know, whereas I go to my brother's house and he's got 2 boys, and I walk in the front door and I like instantly get punched in the nuts.
Well,
It's true.
yeah. So much for being proud of what's in your trousers.
You'll probably have to bleep that out. Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah, but I mean, it's absolutely automatic, just like
It is.
I mean,
It's
yeah.
literally like I walk in, you know, and you know, we'll call each other. He lives in Boston, and it's, you know, hey, you know, what are you doing? I'm playing princesses, man. What are you doing?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm in the emergency room again. Like they know him there. The doctor, you know, which one? You
Yeah.
know, he's like, oh, the older one hit the younger one in the head with a guitar. It was an accident.
An accident. I like to go to Italy and play princess with George Clooney. That's what I like to do.
You know,
Yeah, I know.
we could start that internet rumor.
I know. Matt Damon is here, ladies and gentlemen. The Informant opens September 18th. Now, watching this film last night, struck by 2 things. One, tremendous job in the part, and an unusual role, really. And you look different. You look huge on the screen. But here, you look normal. Now, is it me or is it you?
No, I put on weight for the role. I'm not sure how much. I think it was probably about 30 pounds.
30 pounds. Now, that's not, I mean, is that a good idea? Seriously.
It was fun. I mean, it was
I'm sure
really
it was fun putting it on.
Yeah.
And how did you do it? Just stuff yourself like crazy?
I kind of just ate like I ate in college.
Ah.
It was that easy.
Yeah.
But the director, it was Steven Soderbergh, and I emailed him, you know, a few months out because we'd had the script for 7 years, and
Is that right?
yeah, we've been
Wow.
waiting to make it, and I said, what do you want this guy to look like? And he just wrote back, doughy.
Doughy.
Was all he wrote.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that was my job to get doughy.
But beyond doughy, sort of businessman doughy is what it looks like, right?
Right. Yeah, businessman doughy. I
Yeah.
mean, and there's a lot of stuff that went into it. There's, you know, the wardrobe and the hair and makeup. I had a wig that a pretty bad one that I'm wearing. It's like, you know, it's kind of two-tone, and I got a kind of a fake nose because he didn't want any hard edges because the character is an informant, but he is dishonest about all of his activities. So he's your narrator, but he's a very unreliable narrator. It's a movie for grown-ups.
And the narration, while it helps to move the story along, is also very entertaining because it's
Right.
a stream of consciousness.
It's
really.
a stream of consciousness narration, but the narrator proves really kind of unreliable as you get in.
So you're telling me that was a wig, and you also had a prosthetic nose.
Prosthetic nose, and then I had some things to put in my cheeks to kind of plump them out a little
Really?
bit. Steven just kind of wanted...
Well, how can you work with all that gear, for God's sake? I mean, aren't you always worried about, oh, did the thing in my cheek, did I swallow one of the things in my cheek?
I did worry about that. I couldn't really eat with the things in. But actually, we were in Decatur, Illinois, and every day after work, there were people who would come down to watch the filming, and I'd go and talk to them, and literally every day somebody would come up to me and say, you are so much better looking in person than you are in the movie. I think people in the Midwest are just polite, you know?
Well, or maybe... Now, it's about a company, ADM, Archer Daniels...
Archer Daniels Midland.
Yeah. Now, that's a real company, right?
Yeah. Well, this is a true story. We just told it in kind of a comic way.
I see.
So there was this big price-fixing scandal about 10 years ago, and this guy was an executive at the company, and he did some really courageous things, wearing a wire and recording and kind of proving that this was going on, and it really affected a lot of laws, actually, eventually. But he was also doing some things that were illegal as well.
He was psycho a little bit, wasn't he?
Well, I mean, I haven't met him. I'm going to meet him at the premiere next week, and I'm excited to meet him. I think, you know, he would say, I'm sure, that it was just a time in his life, and I mean, he's come out through it, and he's the president of another company. He's a very successful guy, and by all report's a really nice guy. So.
How did you lose the 30 pounds, for God's sakes?
You know, it was just no fun, just, you know, boxing and running and...
Boxing, really?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Really good workout. That's the running.
Yeah. Oh, I see. When somebody's trying to hit you, you're always in motion, of course. Well, that makes pretty good sense. Now, you talk about being on a global tour to promote the film. What are the requirements to promote a film like this when you're out there? Because we're going to show a clip here in a second. Is there something that they tell you that get in your head about when you're going to do a show and show clips and stuff?
Well, I already made one gaffe. I called it a movie for grown-ups. So I'm sure there are some executives who are literally, you know, going crazy right now.
More for third graders, really.
Right. You know, it is a movie, you know, that I think, you know, adults will really enjoy. But you know, I think we made the movie we wanted to make, and in terms of selling it, there's kind of some different things you should do. So I cut together a kind of a special clip.
You know what? Listen to me. I'm so dumb. I am so dumb. I got to interrupt you right there. We got a guy, all he wants, the only reason he's here, Matthew McConaughey.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. My fault. We should have led with it. Once again, I've buried the lead.
I can't believe we're still doing this.
I can, and I love it, and I can't get enough of it.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well...
So go nuts.
I'm just hopeful the informant finds a bigger audience. So I cut together a special clip for you.
Thank you very much. But Matthew, you're not really in this movie, are you?
No, but I sure would like to go see it. And what I'm gonna do, Dave, is I'm gonna pay the full ticket price and I'm gonna take my shirt off.
Yeah! Yeah! Oh man, is that good? Right down the middle. That's exactly what you want. Okay, so here now is the special,
this is a special clip of the informant, and hopefully we'll draw a big audience.
Yeah, okay, let's watch. Wow! That's crazy.
So it's really about this informant, but then about a lot of cars that turn into robots.
So you have some Transformers in there as well.
We had some Transformers in there.
That, my friend, is genius.
That's thinking.
It's The Informant. Opens September 8th. It's 18th. I'm sorry, September 18th. It's a fine effort. A lovely man, Matt Damon. Thank you very much. Always a pleasure. We'll be right back with Jungle Jack Hanna, everybody.